Hello and welcome back to the TV Show Club, the club where we talk about TV shows that have been recently watching, viewing and enjoying them, and what you've been recently watching and enjoying, and if you see what I'm about to talk about, let me know what you thought about it. I've been very clear and apparent that I have not enjoyed Acolyte. I enjoyed the first two episodes. I actually praised it, I think, after the first two episodes and said I was excited to see where this goes. Episode 3 was just an abysmal piece of writing that I did not enjoy at all, and it just sort of slipped from there. The dialogue got worse from there, the acting got worse from there, and it got shoddier from there, and I just didn't enjoy the sort of angle that this series took. However, after looking at it now as a series as a whole, having the final episode come out just today, this morning of the time of recording this, I actually think the story could have been and had the potential to be really good. I'm not angry at any plot points, I'm not angry at any deaths or any character reasonings or anything like that. I just don't really care. I have no sort of feelings towards any of these characters. I don't feel connected to any of these characters. I'm not going to go away remembering any of their names in a year's time. I genuinely just don't care for these characters, and it's because of the dialogue. It's because of the rushed nature of this show. How can you spend a budget of, I believe it's something like 140 million on a TV show and have 30-minute episodes? I genuinely think every episode as it stands and as the story goes could have been good if the episodes were 60 minutes rather than, or even 40 to 50 minutes each time, rather than it just being a quick little 30-minute episode. If you take away the intro and the outro and the recap, it's probably only about 27, 28 minutes or just around that area. And it's just not enough time. It's not enough time to convey emotions in the characters. It's not enough time to have meaningful dialogue. It's not enough time to connect to any of these characters and get to know them outside of just the main storyline. There's so much focus in just going, right, let's move to the next place, let's get to the next plot point, that you just rush all the characters. I didn't actually care seeing in the final episode the main character of the series die, or at least one of the main characters. I didn't have any sort of emotion towards that. I was just like, okay, he's gone. Like, the devastating fight of, I believe it's episode 5, should have been and had much more emotional impact than it did. But it didn't, because I didn't care for the characters. They weren't... I don't even know. I don't even remember their names. Like, if we'd have just spent more time... Like, this series and the story it told could have easily been 10 episodes. We also didn't need 2 episodes worth of backstory. Like, the backstory, I get, is a crucial point and part of the show. But what you could have done is just sprinkled it in between the episodes, because taking me away from the main storyline just broke it up in such a way where by the next episode I was like having to remember where I was. Like, having the 2 episodes at the beginning, that was released in one, and then going away from that to a backstory. By the time I got to episode 4, I was like, okay, where am I now, and who am I with at this point in the story? And then to do it again later in the season, I was just like, really? Did we really need to do that? Instead, just have flashbacks throughout the episodes. Keep progressing the story in every single episode, while also slowly sprinkling in bits of the mystery, bits of the backstory, because that way we get closer connections to the main characters, and also get, like, it builds the tension and mystery of trying to figure out what happened in the past, and just having that builds, like, curiosity throughout the episodes, rather than it being a one and done, bang, here it is everyone, here's what happened, and then having, like, to take me out of the main storyline. That, for me, is just not very good writing, not very good pacing of a show, and this is my issue with it. Like, the writing, the structure of the show just didn't work, and it could have worked. It could have had 10 episodes, all of them like at least 50 minutes, 50 to 60 minutes, and it could have spent time just like with slow moments with the characters, build the characters up, make me care for them, make me want them to win, make me want them to fight, make me shocked when I get like a surprising thing. I want to be shocked. I want to be like in awe that one of the characters I've just grown to love in the last 5 episodes has had his neck snapped. But instead I was just like, oh, there's that guy gone. I was more shocked at the action of him dying than the character actually dying. I can't even remember his name for the life of me. Like, I just can't. And that is the issue that this story has, is that there's so much focus on the plot and trying to just drive it forward as quick as we can that it just forgets any decent character moments or any decent writing. Like, there's not one bit in this story that has dialogue that you will remember, and you don't need to have that, but like, I think back to Andor and like the scene under the bridge where he's giving the speech about rebellion. That was outstanding. From the acting, the writing, that was something that we remember forever. Simple lines like "I can't swim," the emotional impact that has, like, just beautiful writing and beautiful storytelling that is just effortless. And in this, it just feels like such a struggle for the dialogue and for the lines to even just have any emotional impact. I don't get it at all. I think the one saving, redeeming factor of Acolyte for me is the combat. Like, at times, it's a little bit overly like, okay, why are we slow motioning falling down? Like in that last episode when they jump out the top bit, and it's like, did that need slow motion? No, it really didn't. But I will say some of the combat is reminiscent of like the prequel Star Wars, which is, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, the best combat in Star Wars. The lightsaber fights are good. They are interesting. There are interesting bits in episode 5, in the final episode, that I'm like, okay, this is really cool. This is great, like Star Wars, but it's not, because I don't care about who wins or who loses. I don't care for either side. And it's just, you can't, like, yeah, that is a good factor, but that doesn't make it a good show because the rest of it is just completely lacking. It was cool in the final episode to see Darth Plagueis, to see Yoda, but at the same time, it just felt like they were put there for the sake of, like, let's get people excited for season 2. That is literally the only reason that they were put there. If they cared for these characters, they would have shown them earlier on, or they would have actually given us something more than just flashing their faces. Like, it just sort of felt like a desperate attempt of, right, we need to excite some people with some stuff and teasing us. Whereas, actually, these are the characters we care about, so you could have shown us that earlier on and had actual real contextual, like, scenes with them, and it would have actually improved the story and actually made me want to watch this, because I was getting great character moments. I was learning about Yoda in his early days. I was learning about Darth Plagueis, this insanely mysterious person that we've heard so much about that we've never had any content on, and we don't know, like, while we've heard about him, we don't know a lot about him or where he comes from, what he does and all this and that. And so to just flash him as like a cheap, here's what to get excited for, just feels lazy. Like, it just feels like, is that the best that you could really come up with and do to get me to watch season 2? I don't know. Just, in my opinion, this show could have worked, could have really worked. Like, it's at such an exciting time in Star Wars that it just was wasted. There was no world building. The cinematography was boring. The dialogue was just slow and sloppy. I just can't back anything in this show, apart from, like I said, the fact that if they just spent some more time and care, then it could have. It had the chance that it could have been good, but it just wasn't. It just fell completely flat, in my opinion. And while I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, will season 2 be better? I don't know. I don't know if it'll even get commissioned for season 2. It seems like it probably will, because I think the viewing ratings for the show have actually been really high, but I don't know. It's just, we're all watching it for the sake of watching, because we know it's Star Wars at this point. We're not all watching it and being absolutely wowed. At least I'm not anyway. But let me know, what did you think of The Acolyte season 1? And I will see you next time on the TV Show Club.